Hello and welcome to a very special live podcast recording of the Q4 business plan. That's right, we've been doing these for the past year, and it gives you guys, the listeners, you who have turned up live, and you guys who are listening back on the podcast, an opportunity to really get an insight of what's happening behind the scenes at TSM and what's coming to TSM for the next, 3 months in the next quarter. So without further ado, let me introduce you to someone who currently has a fringe upon a fringe. He's taken the 2020 hairstyle fashion, the lockdown fashionable hairstyle, reinvented it, and brought it back for 2021. It's none other than the amazing mindset guru, Aidan O. Fringe on a Fringe Sullivan.
I made one comment before this recording, and for anybody watching on the podcast, it's really hard to describe. If you're watching the video, you can probably kind of see this. But my fringe seems to be sort of going from it's a low swoop, and then I've got another bit of fringe actually going over it looks like I've got a fringe on a fringe. Again, that makes no sense for you podcast listeners, and probably never will. But yeah, there we go. As Ashley said, one of the things that we are doing in this conversation here is to just bring you into our world right now and give you a little behind the scenes on what we've got planned for TSM, because at the end of the day, we are on a massive mission. We are on a mission to improve the quality of life for all magicians across the globe. And we can only do that by letting you know how we're going to do that in the process and how we can actually work together. Because it's not about us just providing information, providing content and throwing that at you. We've got to actually work together to help not just each other, but also to help the community at large. And if you want more frequent updates, or you'd like to actually hear from us maybe every single day with a new idea, a new concept, a new approach to help you in your mindset, your business, your performance, or your health, head over to thesuccessfulmentalist.com/daily, and you'll be able to sign up to receive our free daily emails. Every single day we'll send you an email with a tip, a piece of advice, or an opportunity to take your life and career to the next level. But Ashley, I actually don't have a fringe. What's been going on?
Insult of the receding. Right, I'm logging off. I'm leaving, guys. Take this yourself, Aidan. You can run the podcast by yourself. I'm gone. Goodbye.
This is brilliant. One fringe versus no fringe, or two fringe. I've got both of our fringes. That's the comment we're going to have on all of our Instagram posts for the next year. Just the fact that some comment about the fact that I've stolen your fringe. Anyway, Q3 the last 3 months, and for anybody not quite understanding the Q3, Q4, we're referring to the life cycle of a year in business. So we've got 4 quarters, and again, Q3, quarter 3 just refers to the last 3 months, which are July, August, and September. I have to check the dates because we're always working about a month ahead, 2 months behind, all sorts of stuff. But for the last 3 months, we've been doing some stuff. But Ashley, there's been a big change, more specifically to our product base. Could you run us through some of the stuff that's happened?
Well, I'll tell you the even bigger change. I turned 25 in that quarter. 25 years old. Look at me. But anyway, yeah, back to products. I think one of the main things which we led off from last quarter to this quarter, and it's changed our business and the trajectory, and it's helping us get closer to that mission of generally improving your lives, like you, the listeners. Is we discontinued all of our products. Seems like a pretty much of a strange thing. It's like, hang on, you wanna help people, so by doing that, you got rid of everything you're selling? Yes, we did. I think this was one of the things we identified, and it's good that we identified this. So I want to say early on, admittedly, half a year into it, half a year is still pretty early on in business. We started to branch out. We started TSM just as a podcast to share our information, to give back to the community, and to give the information that we always wanted growing up into this, coming up into magic and mentalism. And then it quickly escalated. It grew beyond our wildest dreams, and we went, hey, we can actually do something with this. Sat down and we went, right, we're going to help improve people's lives, genuinely improve lives through business, performance, mindset, and health. Making people healthier and happier, and helping them earn more money and everything else around that. Then we started to branch out. We went, hey, we could start teaching tricks. We've got really good material. Let's share this with the audience. It comes under that performance skills, and And then we started doing courses, helping with online shows, and we brought Caroline Raven on to help all of this. And it got a bit cluttered. And I think it got really, really cluttered. And the problem was we're just adding to the problem. We're adding to the problem that's already there in the magic community, i.e., there's this overwhelming thing of just there's so many tricks on the market. There's so many tricks on the market. Buy, 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 buy. And we're just adding to that. Like, we already know as performers, tricks are only a small part. So we just decided to scrap that. We get rid of everything. And we just decided to focus on the one core thing, which is going to move the needle. And that is the information that we're sharing with you through our podcast, everything else as you're going to hear today. And also our coaching course, Learn to Thrive. But yeah, it's stripped back to really step forward is what we've done there.
Yeah, I think what's really important is that we decided to make this big, quite significant change, and we've had people contacting us asking to buy like our tricks and buy our courses, and unfortunately they are no longer available for purchase. Because ultimately we wanted to stop having to sell at you all the time. That was a problem that real feedback that we was actually getting is that we was always trying to sell something. Now, given the nature of business, that's kind of our job. That's the marketing job. We've got to actually try and create these opportunities here. But the problem was that we was having to constantly flip from week to week a new product. We had 11 different products that we was trying to sell all the time, and it was really hard for people, you guys, the listeners, the subscribers to our list, and all of that, actually to understand what we were doing, how we was being useful. So as Ashley said there, we stripped this right back. We basically bundled everything up, did a sale, got rid of everything, and now we are focusing on what ultimately is our highest point of service. This is Learn to Thrive. The coaching program, the 7 weeks actually designed to get you thriving and hustle free in your entertainment business. We ran this earlier this year as we was launching some other courses, other products, and actually it turned out that Learn to Thrive had the best results and the best transformations out of anything that we were doing, out of all 11 products. So it just made sense to streamline that. And right now, actually, at the time of recording this, our November cohort, not a November cohort, we'll talk about that in a second, our September cohort is actually heading into week 3 of the program. And we've had some really interesting results actually from that, which is quite fun to see, Big
but mindset shifts, and that's an important thing.
Yeah, I mean, to give some anonymous comments on some stuff. And again, I'm sure we'll be able to share all of this in a few weeks once we've got permission and stuff. But we had a couple of people that were in particular that were really hesitant to go and do all of like the admin and this, that, and the other around your entertainment business. But they knew that in order to get thriving and hustle free, they have to do that for a period of time so that they can build in the systems, build in automations if relevant. They can build in processes. They can get staff and team actually on board to take over those responsibilities. And as much as they didn't even want to do it in the first place, massive mindset shift to realize, actually, I'm going to do this for a short amount of time so that I can streamline it and give it away and get rid of it. Like, that's just one small fraction based on a couple of videos from the course. Like, big mindset shifts.
Yeah, and I think as well, through actually stripping back and taking back all of our products so that we're not always trying to, hey, buy this course, let us help you with your online shows. Hey, can I help you with my hand stick? Hey, can I flog you this witch hand routine? By all means, they were all great, but it distracted us from the real thing. And yes, we've had some real breakthroughs with our clients. And I've been, Aidan, speaking, I won't mention their names, but I've been speaking to some of like the biggest mentalists in the world about our clients. And even they're impressed by like the results they've got in the short amount of time, which like it made my day that like big boys like that were like, hey, that's how the hell have you done that? That's pretty bloody fantastic. But it's not just in Learn to Thrive we've had these results. And this was one of the key things for us. Like, we come from a place of service and we just want to genuinely help people. And that's why we set up the company. And if someone doesn't come to us through our Learn to Thrive program or just can't afford it, how can we still help them to then eventually get them in and get them under our wing? And like, even people outside, as of today, Aidan, literally a message that we received today, an entertainer went, hey, I've just had a breakthrough. I've realized it's not that difficult to earn 100K a year in magic. When I look at it like this, when I look at my fee, when I break it down, I only need a few gigs a month and I can earn 100K from magic easily. And like, these are some of the mindset shifts that are happening outside the course as well, because we're able to focus and give more time to helping people.
There's so much actually here and again, we're freeing up our time, we're freeing up your time, we're freeing up everybody's time here. The aim is to get thriving and hustle free together, not just in our entertainment businesses, but collectively as an overall community, as a new age of magicians, mentalists, whatever you want to call us here. So again, there's so much actually that we're now able to offer, which we'll talk about in just a second. But if you are interested by the Learn to Thrive program, this is not a direct plug, this is just us sharing some behind the scenes info. But if you do want to join the waitlist for the November cohort, head over to thriveinmagic.com. You'll be able to opt in, and we'll be able to send you all of the details of that course when it's ready to roll. But Ashley, the podcast, let's talk about the podcast, because we have had some of the most incredible months worth of podcast ever. And there's a little number that I think you're interested in.
There is. Should I have a little drum roll? I've got nothing to drum. I'll drum on my leg. Hopefully the mic. Hey, we've surpassed 100 countries in the podcast. Look at that. I think, what was it, 101 countries we're now in on the podcast, which is madness. We've got people from Algeria, Kuwait, Nigeria, Iraq, Israel, the Yemen, Canada, and Florida, and England, and Ireland, and France. I'm not going to go and list all 101.
I was low-key expecting that. I was expecting a full 101 list there, and I thought that would have been impressive, because he's got no cribs, ladies and gentlemen. He does not have a crib in front of him.
And Korea, and Ethiopia, and China, and Russia. I'm just going. But genuinely, all those countries and more are places, and we've even hit Madagascar as well. I'm pretty sure.
That's a lemur.
But yeah, all them countries, it's just a lemur listening to the podcast. All those countries and more, like, people from them are taking the time out of their day to listen to the wealth of information that we're sharing, and that really makes me happy, because we are really trying to give as much as possible on the podcast to again, coming from a place of service, genuinely help you. And that's why we're always interested to hear what you guys think, what your views are on the podcast, and where you're at, how you're finding the information. And that's why we're very open for you guys to get in touch, whether that's by the socials or emails or in our own community, which we'll probably touch on. And it's just gone mad. Like, you guys have been sharing it around with your friends, and thank you for that. And hitting 101 countries, wow. I never thought we would have been able to accomplish this in just over a year and a half. That's madness. But it's not just that. Even the listenership it's pretty much doubled within the past 2 months, hasn't it, Aidan?
It's doubled from July to August. It's just shy of doubling, and that's stuck through September as well. So obviously we're recording this in October. So this is ridiculous. I think the first time we had such a huge doubling in terms of our actual listenership was when we first introduced a paid product. Our first All About the Tricks lecture, we opened that back up a year ago. Flipping egg, it's almost a year. And that's when our podcast listeners doubled. But even then we were talking tiny numbers. Now we're talking pretty significant numbers on our downloads. I don't actually have them off the top of my head, but
I remember we used to get excited when we were like, oh my gosh, we've had 6 people listen to the podcast today. And we was like, oh, there's one person. Okay, that's still one person. Oh, a whole 12 people. And then it reached 100. And we were like, 100 people have listened to the podcast. Wow. And now we're like, yeah, we've just had our best month for over 3,000. Over 3,000. It just doubled overnight. It's gone from an average we've been having for the past 3 months of 1,500 on average.
Probably, about 18.
3,000.
Yeah, 18.
Yeah, it's madness. It just doubled, from that 1,800 to 3,000. It's what has happened? But I can only thank you guys for obviously sharing it with your friends, and please continue to do so, because the more people that we can help, the closer we are to hitting our mission, which is to help improve every magician's quality of life around the world. And if we can do that, it's really a dream come true.
Exactly that. Now, it's not all been sunshine and glory, everything. Last month, 3 months ago, we set out this mission of what we was planning to do in terms of getting back into a better place, whereas this quarter we're really focusing on helping you get thriving and actually in your entertainment business, especially with Christmas coming up. The podcast content over the next couple of months, I'll be honest, is perhaps some of our personal favorites. It's really valuable stuff to get you ready and rolling for Christmas. You probably even already heard some episodes at this point, teeing you up for that. But as I said, it's not all been sunshine and glory. We did promise a few things, and we did also mess up a few things. Now, specifically, one of the big ones was actually the promise of getting back onto YouTube every single week, actually sharing some valuable insights and actually just some good watches on YouTube. And unfortunately, anybody who's been following us on YouTube, subscribed, you'll still be waiting for some videos because we haven't quite got there yet. I
think there was one video that might have gone on there in the past 3 months. Yeah, one video in 3 months compared to what it was supposed to be of one a week. Didn't quite do that, but hey, but on that, we have actually, I mean, you've taken the lead on this, like putting some trainings over in our private community.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that's really important is obviously we want to give back as best as possible. And at the time of recording this, just yesterday, there was a pretty significant outage on both Facebook, Instagram, the WhatsApps, or they basically all went crashing down, which is one of the reasons that we are absolutely lucky enough and I don't want to say clever enough because that makes us sound better than everybody else, which is not what we're going for here. But we actually
we're silly enough. We're silly enough.
We are silly enough.
Strategically silly is a phrase I'm captioning.
There you go. We are strategically silly enough to host our community off of Facebook. We're not in a Facebook group. We are in our mighty network, which is our private community. If you want more information about joining that community, head over to thesuccessfulmentalist.com/community. You probably could have guessed that. But yeah, we've been sharing some weekly videos, actually little bonus trainings to get you thinking about certain stuff. We've done a little training on pricing. We did a training on actually the 5 major questions to ask yourself when designing close-up material and actually choosing material, not just close-up, but for stage as well. But the aim here is that we get as much as we possibly can, sharing as much value in addition to this podcast and everything else to basically let you go out for a nice long walk with the podcast, to come back and study the video and actually implement the stuff. And more importantly, talk about this and build this connection with the community overall, where this is something that we've been rolling out weekly, and we'd love for you to actually come and join that conversation, come and join in these trainings.
Yeah, and on that, all of the members of the community, something which worked really well last quarter, and we've continued it all throughout this quarter, and we will so throughout all of our podcast recordings. We just list as events now in the community, and we invite people to come live. And if they want, they can ask their questions live, which means like when we're interviewing people, like big people, whether it be, I was just trying to think of some people off the top of my head and they've all gone blank. Sorry, all the podcast guests that have come on. Whether it be like big people like, I don't know, Rian Doris from the Flow Research Collective, or Ken and Rob Temple, like the hypnotist and the world-class mind reader that also do email marketing, or whether it be someone like, I don't know, give me a name, Aiden. My mind has gone blank.
Well, I mean, we recently just had Brittany Ford, a holistic nutritionist, biohacker. Again, somebody who our audience probably would have never connected with. But that episode in and of itself actually went out, I believe, just last weekend at the time of relaunching this. I can't remember the launch dates off the top of my head. That is that's true productivity for you there. But that was a really fascinating discussion. It was perhaps one of my most favorite episodes to date.
Yeah, this is the thing. And it's so beautiful that we've now given people an opportunity to chat with these people that, one, they might not have met, chat with these pros who are world-class experts in their areas. And even when we interview magicians, they've still got an opportunity to ask their questions as well. It means that they can ask genuine, authentic questions and get genuine, authentic live advice straight from that person, which I think it brings us all together. And again, it comes from the heart of community and just togetherness as well. And they've been working really well. We love live events ever since we really ran our convention at the beginning of this year, TSM Live, and it's something which we're going to continue doing. And we have a few more events listed in the TSM network. So what I'm saying is, come and join us. There's so much on there. Get off of Facebook, get off of Instagram, stop all your data being stolen and getting used by Mark Zuckerberg. You don't need that guy. Come over to our private platform, come over to Mighty Networks, the Successful Mentalist /community. Stay up to date with us. It's the best point of contact. And then you've got all of those free events as well.
Exactly that. And for anybody who wants to follow us on those social medias, let's not kill. What is it? What's that saying?
Let's not
kill the
kick
babies.
Mark Zuckerberg while he's already down.
Yeah, exactly. But by all means, please go ahead, follow us over on the social media. We are getting a little bit more active, specifically on Instagram, but we're hoping to roll out a good content plan actually across both Facebook and Instagram and YouTube just 3 months after we originally planned. We're getting there, ladies and gents. It's growth, it's step by step. At the minute, our primary focus is to actually serve the Learn to Thrive students as powerfully as we possibly can, and from there we can actually start expanding, because at the end of the day, you can't pour from an empty cup, and it's our job to actually look after the people that are without saying it bluntly, and by saying it bluntly, the people that are paying our bills right now, actually allowing us to share the podcast and serve on a much bigger level. We're slowly getting there, branching out to help you guys actually come and join us, because shamelessly, our full business model is this. And actually, I'm saying, I don't even care. Our full business model is this: meet as many of you listeners as possible, connect with you on a level, and serve you so powerfully that you have these transformations and you see significant results in either your business, mindset, performance, and health. Build up such value, like on our end, like serving you so powerfully that you just feel compelled to join us inside Learn to Thrive, and then serve you so powerfully inside Learn to Thrive that you can't help but tell your friends and get them in. That literally is our business model here, and that's the way that we're going to be tackling any form of change. And again, the point here is service. It's so important to do that. So again, by all means, sync up on the social medias to keep active. If you want to stay most up to date, head over to thesuccessfulmentalist.com/community, join our community, and you can also join our emails as well and get an email every day.
Oh, on that, we've had some big results of people just on the email list alone, because it's not just an email list full of updates. Like, this is an email list full of actual useful information, tips and ideas and thoughts and processes of real world applicable stuff, which people can actually use. And the amount of feedback I've been seeing coming in, and the replies to those emails, like, oh my gosh, what a good tip today. Oh my gosh, I can implement that straight away. Like, helping people on that level daily to keep them on track. Kudos, Aidan. Kudos. There's a good couple of hundred people around the world which are taking actual change just from having those daily strategies and thoughts kind of drop through. So yeah, head over, sign up to those. I think on the daily advice.
Yeah, what's particularly important is that we're not just preaching what we're not practicing at the end of the day. All of this stuff is real life situations. Like just a couple of days ago, I shared a real story actually from a gig that I performed at. I believe it was 2 days ago, actually, a gig where basically the bride and the groom, without going into too much depth, I was spending time with the bridegroom, their close family and friends, spent absolutely ages with them while all the guests were getting changed, ready for the evening party. They'd all come back for the evening party into the other room, and they couldn't find the bride and groom anywhere, and the venue staff had to try and find them because they weren't even at their own wedding party, which I thought was particularly hilarious.